Well, coming up to the 4-minute countdown now. All the 49er FX have had their opportunity to try and study the course, try and work out exactly what's going to happen. Now it's all about the start line, and the start is quite short, only 10 boats.
Yeah, only 10 boats, and the line won't be that long, but there'll be space for everybody. You know, and I think the interesting thing you just saw a minute ago was the waves out there, and that's interesting for a medal race. Usually the bay is super flat water when you're doing the racing during the week, and then you get to every single medal race, and you're going to have the chop from the different boats around, from all the coach boats and the media and everything like that. So you have to take that into consideration.
Well, on board there with Martina Grail and Kahina Kunz, and on this start line, you've got to say the 49ers and the 49er FX, that's not an easy boat to maneuver at slow speeds on the start line.
No, you pretty much don't want to stop ever in these boats. You see them always standing up, moving, you know, shifting their weight, trying to keep the boat in control. At the same time, you know, conserving energy because it takes a lot of effort to, you know, muscle these boats around the course, and reading the wind. So you got to have time to, like, kind of take a deep breath and look out and see which way you want to go on the race course.
Everyone's starting to come into the line, and as we can see on the tracker there, a lot of sailors coming off this line. What are they practicing there? Talk us through what's going on in this moment.
They're really checking for angle. So you're just trying to figure out what the breeze is doing and which angle is going to, you know, which tack's going to take you closer to the mark. And that'll decide which. Do you want to start closer to that big committee boat with all the flags, or what we call the pin end, which is that rib with the other orange flag on it? You know, where do you want to position yourself for the best way up the beat? And that's all they're doing. They're keeping track of the wind shifts and making sure their settings are correct, and maybe practicing a little bit of acceleration. You know, they're all going to stop, and then they need to go. And the faster they can accelerate the boat with that, you know, the minimum seconds, then that's going to basically launch them off the line in front of everybody else.
Well, all of the boats are now coming into the start line, and from what you've seen here, Sally, I'm going to put you up against the wall here. Which end of this start line do you think we're going to see boats, you know, fighting for?
This is tricky. It's a little bit hard from my perspective here, but I would say maybe from the last race and everything, you might see a few boats down at that pin end, but without getting my angles on it. And you know, there's a lot of feel in sailing. If I was out there, it's much easier to say, oh yeah, you know, the right side's going to pay or the boat end is up, but it's hard from here.
Getting ready for the start, about to hit that final moment, and already the 49er FX is racking up. And look at this, it is crowded up at that right-hand end near the committee boat.
Yeah, maybe I was totally wrong, but we'll see them accelerate and accelerate off the pin, I think, here. And maybe we'll see that first pin boat go out. But you're right, there's a big fight here for the boat end, and maybe the right's going to pay off.
Oh, this is going to be very tricky for those boats on the right-hand side. We've got the British team in there. We've got Norwegian boat, Finland in there. There's not a lot of space. The Brazilian pair holding everybody up, and they really want to force everybody into that right-hand side. We're going to have to see in the final 10 seconds how everybody gets themselves out of that grouping and get themselves off the line. But right now, everybody stacked up on this start line. Good breeze for the 49er FX medal race here in Miami. Everybody lining up on the start line. Everybody wanting that committee boat end. 49er FX medal race about to get underway. Italy, Norway at the committee boat end, fighting hard for space, but it's Austria 61 getting a strong start at the pin, managing to keep their bows clear of the Norwegian team. Talking a little bit about the breeze, we've been talking a little bit about the conditions out there. How is everything looking for this race?
Wind picked up a little bit. It's a solid 10 knots now. Before it was just dropping off to 7.5, 8 knots. Looks a bit more solid now. Line pretty square at the moment. Not much in it on either side. So it's probably going to be first gust, first shift that's going to decide the post-start phase.
And I think what will happen here as the day goes on, the breeze should actually be a little bit steadier. So instead of those crazy shifts we were seeing this morning, they're still going to have the shifts, but they might come down to, you know, maybe that 10-degree change.
Well, we've got 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock, and right now from the tracker you can still see a lot of movement. The laser radials earlier on were stacking up on the start line at this point, but here no one's really taking a front row seat.
No, it looks like they're all really, you know, trying to figure out where they want to be and moving around, not afraid to maybe take someone's spot or be aggressive with somebody in front of you or behind you.
Well, you talk about aggressive sailing. Look at what's going on down there. Now, Marcus, you've got some information coming off the course.
I highlighted the Norwegian boat and the British boat in the SAP Sailing Analytics, and they're battling it out. It is going to be a battle for silver, so they're really close on the close end of the line here. There we have them. Battling for the pin end.
We're on board at the moment with Ben Cornish, the world number 14 from Great Britain, and he is just getting into those final few moments on the start line, just pushing out the boom, trying to control himself. You can see him on the right-hand side, GBR 91, and just beyond him, Norway 1, Anders Pedersen, 24 years of age. That is the battle for second place. They come into this medal race only 2 points separated. At the moment, Ben Cornish lining up for a start off the pin end. Anders Pedersen sailing off, looping back round. He's going to be coming in with a little bit of a charge here. Very aggressive starting tactics. We're into the final few seconds. All the action's taking place at the pin end. Ben Cornish from Great Britain putting the bow down, starting to accelerate, and as the gun fires, Brazil's with a strong start. Italy punches out from the middle, but Ben Cornish from Great Britain gets away clean.
And here's a little fun fact. It was 50 centimeters advantage to the port end.
So very little bias out there, but Ben Cornish getting away, but now in danger. He might get locked on the left.
He might get locked on the left, and that's the risk you take winning the pin. But obviously, it was the right thing to do in the moment. You saw Anders Pedersen bail out and find a new spot on the line, which was really important. I thought he might have taken the risk and gone all the way to the right, but he really wants to control Ben and see if he can take the second overall.